Hey, Carrie here again. All right, back to real estate. So while I love real estate and I have one of those, how shall we say, love-hate relationships, if you will. You see, when you watch one of those reality TV shows about real estate investing, it's a flipping show or, they're rehabbing something, real estate never happens quite like it happens in the reality TV world, right? It always goes down way differently and not in a good way, okay? So, and remember, in 1999, I started investing in mobile homes, and that's where I would buy the homes and then I would hold the financing and they would pay me monthly. I was the bank, so I was their mortgage company, so to speak. And that was passive income, and that was great. I'm in love with real estate right now, until dude stopped paying me. This guy that was paying me consistently every month stopped paying me. And now I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do? I have no idea what to do. Now I'm hating real estate because I'm not getting paid. So I find this lawyer. He was really, really nice and gave me some free info over the phone. I ended up posting a notice on this guy's door. And then the next morning he calls me. He goes, Carrie, what do I got to do to stay out of court? And I'm like, pay me. Pay me what you owe me. And he's like, I have all the money to pay you. And I remember saying, Glenn, if you have all the money, why didn't you pay me? And he's like, I don't know. That's what he said. He said, I don't know. So Glenn paid me back all the money that he owed me, all the late fees and everything. So that actually worked out. That worked out really well. So I'm back to loving real estate again. And then this one time, my girlfriend at the time comes in the house and she's looking a little upset. And she's like, Al's outside and he's really upset and I think he's crying. And so Al was a another gentleman that I sold a mobile home to, and he had missed his payment. And I learned real fast with the attorney that right away you need to start the process with them. So I posted a note on his door, and he came to me and he's really upset. And he's like, Carrie, I just I don't have the money right now. The job that I'm making is not paying me enough, and what am I going to do? I have my son, and this is the part of real estate that really sucks, right? You kind of have to detach yourself emotionally because it's business, right? This is a part of real estate I hate, right? And basically, I was like, Al, if you can't cut it with your job now, you need to get another job. Like, you need to make more money to be able to pay your bills. Now, eventually, things worked out with Al. Like, Al caught up and everything was fine. Him and his son stayed, and he eventually paid off, his mobile home, and he got to keep it, right? It was his house, and I'm loving real estate again, right? And then I eventually stopped buying mobile homes, and I bought my first single family home in 2001. What I did was I rehabbed it, then I kept it for a rental, right? So I'm thinking now, like, I'm the cat's meow, right? I got a rental property. This is amazing. I love real estate. It's awesome. Then I started putting a tenant in there. Let me tell you something. Every single tenant I put in this property, I either evicted myself or they snuck out in the middle of the night without paying. Yeah, every single one. And I don't know if you can imagine the type of panic that comes over you when you realize, okay, you have a mortgage payment to make, right? Because you had to get a loan out from the bank to buy the property. And you have a mortgage payment to make. And normally the rent's there, but it's not there, and the mortgage payment's due. And you go to the property and you see that the tenant's no longer there and it's empty and it's trashed. And that is like a legit panic mode that comes over you. Now you're back to, I hate real estate, right? I hate real estate because you got to figure out, what you're going to do. You got to fix up the property. You have to still pay the mortgage. You got to find a new tenant. It's just, it's super stressful. There's a lot of panic and stress that takes place when you still know you got that mortgage payment due, right? Um, and then also, while being a landlord, I wholesaled and I flipped properties, but then, things there don't go as well as planned either, right? So you're wholesaling and you're flipping and things are going great, and then dun 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 dun, something doesn't go that way. Like, you get a property under contract to wholesale for a family that's going into foreclosure, and you can't find a buyer for it. Like, that happened to me. I couldn't find a buyer for it. I went into a depression. Like, I literally went into a depression, not because I was upset that I couldn't get the property sold, but were under contract. I mean, I was, but I was more upset because I let the family down. Like they were counting on me. Do you know what I mean? And that was the thing that was upsetting to me. And I went into a depression, and just things just don't go as planned. Sometimes you can't find buyers for your wholesale deals. Sometimes if you're rehabbing or flipping, rehabbing, it's going to cost more than you anticipated. It's going to take longer than you anticipated, right? Sometimes if you're involved, if you're like full time in real estate and deals aren't happening, guess what? You yourself might potentially go into foreclosure. I almost had my first rental property. Remember the one where everybody got evicted? That almost got foreclosed on me because I wasn't able to complete deals when I needed deals and I needed money to pay the bills because I didn't have a tenant. Tenant left. So I almost lost my first rental property to foreclosure. Thank you, Dave. Dave, I will forever be grateful for. Him and I joined in forces together and we were able to get the property sold so I didn't have to go into foreclosure. But that was a real moment that happened in real estate. And then I had a scary moment. This is in 2009. In 2009, I had to evict a tenant. This is from another rental property. So that first rental property is sold now. Okay, Dave helped me get that sold. Now I have another rental property. And I had a situation where I had to evict a tenant. And let's just say it didn't go as planned, right? I was scared, right? So I remember being on my way home from the whole eviction situation and talking to the tenant, and I passed the gun store and I slammed on the brakes and I did a U-turn, pulled into that driveway, and I bought a gun that day because I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be scared again if I have to evict a tenant. I'm never going to be in fear for my life. So that's the day I bought a gun, and I guess it was in 2009, probably a little bit after that, is when I had my light bulb moment. That's when I bought and read the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, and where that one line in that book, I know it sounds so dramatic, but it changed my life. Harv says in that book, you become financially free when your passive income exceeds your expenses. And when I read that line in 2009, mind you, I learned about passive income in 1996 from Kiyosaki, right? But when I read that line in 2009, it was like a light bulb moment, like, I had a light bulb over your head. It was like, that was the time I was ready to actually hear it and understand it, right? I mean, sure, I had one rental property, but for the most part, I was busting my butt in real estate, like wholesaling and flipping, trying to make money. Plus, I didn't have enough in real estate to pay the bills that I actually had to have a job too, right? So I knew that things were about to change for me when I read that book. I knew that I had to figure out a way to have rent come in without depending on tenants. And I also needed to have consistent cash flow coming in without a job. Rent coming in without tenants, cash flow coming in without a job. That's what I knew needed to happen after reading that. Stay tuned and check out the next video and I'll tell you how it all went down.